Hello, greetings. Welcome to Connect Africa. Tonight we have our family. He's a family here, Dr. Benjamin Anyagre, to tell us or to explain to us or to reflect on Ghana's reinstatement of its Republic Day on 1st July. First of all, welcome, Dr. Benjamin.
Thank you very much, and greetings to your audience.
Thank you. All right, then. So, recently, Ghana has reinstated its from public holiday to uh, a Republic Day, that is 1st July. I mean, for those of us, I think let's assume that there's a difference, which I understand. What is the difference and what is the significance of it renaming or reinstating as a Republic Day, 1st of July?
Yes, thank you. Ghana gained her independence on the 6th of March 1957, and Ghana was still under the crown of the British Empire. And so the Queen was still the president of Ghana. And President Kwame Nkrumah then was the prime minister. But to assume the full status of a sovereign state, Ghana fought for her freedom to rule herself entirely. And so there was a referendum which was conducted, of which President Kwame Nkrumah won, leading us to secure our republic on the 1st of July. Under the CPP, which was Nkrumah's party and founded by him. The party was formed on 12th of June 1949.
Okay.
And so all of us, we have seen it as a day of celebration, a day of commemorating, a day of telling the story, the true story of Ghana. That happened until the 11th Republican Constitution of Ghana. When they were in power, they abolished it. They didn't, see it significant enough to celebrate, and changed it to 4th August, which is the day the United Gold Coast Convention was formed in 1947. And if you look at it, the UGCC was a snail pace type of liberation movement. They believed in the gradual process of Ghana, the Gold Coast then, to pursue our political independence. Nkrumah was invited to be part of them. In fact, he was the general secretary. But he had an opinion that, look, we cannot go that way. We need independence now. And through the rank and file of the people, they decided to push for the formation of the Convention People's Party in 1949. That we needed our independence now. We cannot continue to be under colonial rule for another 100 years. For the past 100 years, what have they done for our country? And so the people understood. And so eventually, Nkrumah led the CPP to gain independence for the Republic of Ghana. Even the fight for the independence, what happened was, even people, some of the UGCC top members went to Britain to say that we were not right for independence. They did all that they could, even went violent in so many parts of Ghana, trying to disrupt the move for the independence of Ghana. And let me tell you something. These people traveled a long way into what we call the New Patriotic Party, who ruled Ghana until the recent administration. And when they took over, they said, no, they won't celebrate the 1st July that we gain our Republic Day. They were always opposed to Kwame Nkrumah, so they did everything to undermine the good works of Kwame Nkrumah. But the Ghanaian people saw the reality, the truth, and decided that no, one of the reasons which angered the Ghanaian was trying to bring down the good works of Kwame Nkrumah. It added up to a massive rejection of their regime, their administration, in the last general elections in Ghana. And so the new administration saw the need to call back the 1st July, which was made impotent along the line during the last administration. And now today, everybody in Ghana, we are happy because that's the true record that should be celebrated. If you refuse to recognize the reality, the truth about where you are coming from, then you are lost. We refused to be under colonial rule. We refused to be subjugated under colonial rule. We refused it absolutely. Unlike some people wanted to be the running dogs for the colonial administration. Nkrumah fought for it. He got it for us. And today we are happy. We are celebrating 1st July. And like we've been saying, it is worth it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Anyagre, for that. Now, it is the organization that you are serving as the CEO, the African Continental Union Consult. In your statement there, you released a statement and you said this reinstatement to as a Republic Day, meaning 1st of July, I quote, "This correction honors Ghana's authentic Republican heritage, personality, and the courage to stand tall with her national story." Can you unpack that for us?
Yeah, the reality is that if you refuse to recognize the true story of your sovereign state, what else do you want to recognize? You want to do the bidding of the colonialist? You want to be seen good in the eyes of the colonialists who are trying to rewrite the history of Ghana and who are attempting to undermine our sovereign state? That is our pride. Our country suffered so many abuses, exploitation of our natural resources. How many development did we have during the colonial administration? And so we have a heritage to protect. We have a heritage to defend. And then this heritage in itself constitutes some kind of education to a new generation. The more we celebrate, the more they ask questions. Why are we celebrating? Then the true story comes. And then those who were witnesses to what happened, they tell the story. And that is the pride that we have. If we do not tell the new generation the truth, and you want to distort history, you want to rewrite history, it never brings national cohesion. It is a form of divide and rule, which is one of the anchors of colonialism. It's only neo-colonial puppets who have a different ideological leaning, who do not understand properly what sovereign independence is all about, and who think the colonialists should continue to rule us via their puppetry administration. And so that is it. If you stand out, you are daring the vestiges of neocolonialism. But if you stoop low, you are becoming subservient to the one who once ruled you. That is why that administration stooped so low to the extent that they could go to Washington to report and say lies about the cultural revolution in Burkina Faso. That alone exposed them. What they did against Kwame Nkrumah through their generations before them showed. And what they went to Washington to say about the government in Burkina Faso tells the kind of people that we have on the continent. If we want to talk about the development of Ghana being shortened, the problems of Ghana today, the lack of speed in the Continental Union government in Africa today, will point at them. They are the worst. All the problems of Africa today rest with them. And that is undeniable. They do not want the progress of Africa. In the first place, why will you fight against a seer? Why will you fight against a prophet who has come to transform your nation? Why will you fight against an African personality who went and studied and who was part of the 1945 Pan-African Congress, the Fifth Congress in Manchester? He co-chaired with Joe Padmore. He saw it all and came back to Ghana, decided to move to the rural areas, the grassroots. And today led us to gain our independence, led us to secure our republic status. And you continue to fight. You can never succeed because his ideas overweighs yours. And because his ideas overweighs yours, he will continue to live. Even the statue of Kwame Nkrumah at Addis Ababa, they were not happy. Why? What kind of envy is that? What kind of I mean, sometimes when you think about all these things, you ask yourself questions about the black man. You ask yourself about the black man. And they have fought, they threw bombs at Kwame Nkrumah. Series of assassinations. Finally, They became part of a syndicate. They conspired. And finally, the 1966 coup, which was a cowardly planned coup, happened. Why did they wait till Nkrumah was out of the country
Yeah.
before they did that coup? Why? They were cowards. And I take this opportunity to pay homage to General Power, who stood and said, no, I will not betray the Republic of Ghana and die in the hands of traitors. And those traitors today are continuing thinking they can rewrite the history of Ghana. Revisionists. They cannot. And interestingly, the more they try to write down Nkrumah's legacy, the more Nkrumah's, his works begin to sprout beyond the borders of Ghana. These are the people. They are the cause of the Ghanaian problems today. They are the cause of the African problems today. Because whilst Nkrumah was fighting, they were pulling Nkrumah back. The Nkrumah's teacher, his courage, his bravery, his mind was so powerful that with their combined forces, with the neo-colonial combined forces, with the colonialists themselves orchestrating, they couldn't. And my sister, I get worried. During Nkrumah's rule, look, the industries he built, the way he was developing Ghana, he was selfless. He was thinking about my generation. Today, my generation should have been enjoying. But because of some greedy characters in Ghana,
Now,
and they want to rewrite it.
yeah, sorry. You may conclude if you like.
Yeah, but they will never succeed. They will never succeed because the truth will always prevail. Nkrumah is a symbolic and universal in character. Nkrumah is the truth. Let me put it that way. That's why the whole of Africa, everybody's talking about Kwame Nkrumah. Why will his statue be at Addis? He stood for Africa. He stood for the black man. And he was a peaceful man. Nkrumah was a peaceful man.
Well, his legacy lives forever. In fact, his books are still something we still have to read, teach our children. And if our head of states have been independent, then they could have referred from his book and make a use of it, because everything is there. Everything is there, how to make themselves independent economically. Now let's move on. I understand that not by everybody this Republic Day reinstatement was welcome. And I quote one of the MPs in Ghana, his name is the member of parliament for Efia, Isaac Boma Nyarko. He's labeled the separate commemoration and observance of Ghana's July 1st holiday as, in quote, waste of productive time. So in his interview, he also expressed dissatisfaction with the current arrangement where the country marks Republic Day on July 1st, but often observes the public holiday on an alternative date such as July 4 this day. So first of all, is that so? Is it different? So there are 2 days. One is observed, the other one is commemorated. What is this?
The 1st July Republic Day in Ghana was always celebrated
Okay.
until the last administration of Ghana came and said, no,
Oh,
we will not recognize that date, and that we are going to recognize 4th August,
4th
which was,
August. Okay.
yes, which was the day the United Gold Coast Convention was formed or was founded. But I mean, it was something awkward, and it was part of the revisionist agenda to rewrite the history of Ghana. Like I said, the correct date to be celebrated and which binds the nation together is 1st July
Okay.
and not 4th August. Nobody knew about 4th August. 4th August is a new colonial date. It's a new colonial date. And so it tells the kind of characters, who they are. And so whatever he's saying, she said she should go back and read the history of Ghana properly. If you read the history of Ghana properly without being biased, without reading revisionist tendencies in between the lines, you come to terms of the true story of Ghana. You see, sometimes I don't blame so many people when they say things that they feel like. And it all boils down to our educational system. If we teach our story, if we tell our children the truth about who we are, how we traveled, organizations that existed, nationalist movement that existed, the proto-nationalist movement before the Second World War, and the post-World War II mass nationalism, who were up to the task and who fought for the people, who empathized with the people, who fought against exploitation of man by man, alongside the teachings of Kwame Nkrumah, alongside the teachings of other historical figures of the African continent, people will not be speaking like that. So, for instance, if you are not well equipped in the mind as a patriot, how can you go and formulate good policies in the house for your generation? Because already you are corrupted in the mind. There's no ideological clarity in terms of the nation Ghana. Because in everything, first, you should think about the nation. You should think about the country. But if you lack that thinking, you will speak the way you want. Look, my sister, Nkrumah believed in the people. He believed in serving the people over profit making. Nkrumah was selfless. Those who speak like this, they look at governance like a business to make money. That's why they call themselves property-owning Democrats. And when you say you're a property-owning Democrat, it means profit over the people. Yeah. And when that happens, greed bloats in society. And that's why today the new administration, they have something they call Operation Recover or Loot, Oral, which was part of the campaign messages by the ruling party today.
Do you think besides this, ceremonial kind of reinstatement of July 1st as a Republic Day, any, impactful change that's coming with this? For example, I assume teaching the youth in school, including it in the curriculum about the history, about Kwame Nkrumah himself. Ghana does that, or what is something that comes with it beyond what is ceremonial?
Now, in Ghana, I haven't seen any learning institution teaching about Kwame Nkrumah.
Wow.
And that is sad.
But yeah, that can be in many African countries. Please go on. Yeah, but that's sad, true.
Because I keep on saying, if you teach the Berlin Conference way, you get the Berlin Conference results. You can read and write, but you can still be ignorant. You have to go through education, and education will have to pass through you. Look, Kwame Nkrumah's books could have been taught from the first cycle, second cycle, up to the tertiary level. The political science departments could have made Kwame Nkrumah's teachings examinable. And that should be number one, alongside with many of our heroes' teachings. And I mean, they left it. They are no more with us physically, but the documents are there in the form of books. Why are we not teaching our children? If you go to China, they teach about their heroes, their past heroes.
Yeah.
Even in the United States, they do it. But in Africa, many states in Africa don't. Because the structural system of education is neo-colonial inclined. Because they want to keep us subjugated. They want us to see ourselves differently.
Yeah, these things has to be criticized, really, because this demonizing whenever any successor comes, totally destroying what has been, the good that has been done by its predecessor should be kept and told, to the children. Or in the schools, but they don't do that. And the same thing I can tell you in Ethiopia, it is the same thing. It's very sad how we kill a generation by act of that. Now, I can't help myself but thinking when you said that this is, owning with this reinstatement, Ghana will stand tall with its national history. I was thinking of, for example, the current international airport of Ghana, which is now named after the Lieutenant General Emmanuel Kwasi Kotoka, a Ghanaian military officer, and one of the key figures behind the 1966 coup that overthrew Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. With this campaign now, you are successful for it to be reinstated on that day, which has a historical reason for it. Do you think this is somewhere in your goal to rename the airport back to Accra International Airport, or under the name of Kwame Nkrumah, or will you just leave it like that?
We can't. You can't put a traitor's name at the airport. And that could be one of the reasons why Ghana is not making any headway. Somebody will say, why are you saying so? Any nation that do not honor its hero, that nation is lost. The airport has to be renamed after Kwame Nkrumah, or for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah International Airport. The main entry point of Ghana and exit point of Ghana. You can't name it after a traitor. It is a mockery. People laugh at us.
Very much.
People laugh at Ghana. Say, look at them. How can somebody overthrow your hero, the one who was building your nation, and you name an airport after him? It is sad. And some of us have been saying we should stop the political games around the renaming and rename it after Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That's all. No, it is part of the education. It's part of telling the history and the story of Ghana in Africa. That is the fact. Even the ruling party now, the chairman came out to say no, the airport must be renamed after Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Many well-meaning people in Ghana who are conscious, who know the truth, keep on saying the airport must be renamed after Kwame Nkrumah. And we strongly hope that it will be renamed after him. It will be done. Many Ghanaians want the place in the airport to be changed.
Yeah.
In many nations in Africa, their airports are being named after their founding fathers, the founder of their nations, those who led the national liberation movement to gain the political independence, though it is a political independence with a checklist. It's being watched.
Yeah.
So that is it. Many nations in Africa have roads named after Kwame Nkrumah.
Yeah.
Many. And what he did, there is no president in Ghana who can measure up to what Kwame Nkrumah did. No one. No.
Not even in the continent, let alone Ghana.
Look. And he was a prophet. He was a seer. He was a prophet. He was a seer. I think Nkrumah was a saint. He was a saint. I'm not exaggerating, but that is the reality. That is a fact. We are now even depending on what he did for us. He established for us. Many people in the world respect Ghana because of Kwame Nkrumah. And when they come to Nkrumah, they pass through an airport named after the one who was part of who conspired with the CIA to overthrow him.
And then, ironically, the American military is there at your airport, right? Basing there or something.
Yes. And there has been a lot of voices for them to be removed. Just like the bravery of the Sahel did. In Mali, in Niger, in Burkina Faso. My heart. You have to prove that you worked a sovereign state. And you can speak out against what you don't want. something that is a threat to your people? Because when they are in your country, they have diplomatic immunity. And it means your country itself is insecure. Because their warships, their warplanes can land there anytime they want. And when they come, you can't search them, what they have in there. So that becomes an established post for neo-colonial activities against your sovereign state.
That was really interesting. Thank you very much, Dr. Benjamin Anyagre. It's always a pleasure and an honor to have you here updating us what's happening in Ghana. There's a lot that we will talk about, but each and every topic need its own episode. So next time we have Dr. Benjamin Anyagre. Definitely, I would like you to spill the tea with regards to, this 100 billion project of building a new town, Silicon Valley-like, with the agreement with the United Arab Emirates, and also with its goal trying to follow the path of the Sahel states. All these things that we, some of them are exaggerated on social media, but some of them really need from people like you to tell us exactly what's happening. So that will happen next week. But for today, as far as the Republic Day is concerned, you have really gave us an insightful information. So thank you, unless you have a closing remark.
Thank you very much. And I take this opportunity to say, sometimes you see so many publicity about the Sahel, but it's all about what is anticipated and what is being worked on. The Sahel are doing very well.
Yeah.
The Sahel now constitute the heartbeat of the African future. All Africans, if you are a true African, you should support what is happening in the Sahel.
Sure.
If you are a true African who thinks about tomorrow, if you are a true African who think about Africans not becoming new slaves on their own land, if you think about the Africa that should enjoy from her wealth, if you think about the Africa that should be bright and future generations will come and be happy, the seed that was sown by our heroes is germinating in the Sahel. And I will keep on saying every African must open their eyes on what is happening in the Sahel and give the Sahel protection. Why would they want to disrupt what is happening in the Sahel?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, we all know.
It means they are doing something right for the people.
Sure.
These are countries called poor nations. Now you say we are poor. We have discovered that we cannot be poor because we have everything. Now we want to take our destiny into our own hands and move forward. And now you say no. You want us to become perpetual poor people? You want us to sleep in the streets? You want our children to malnourished, undernourished? You want us not to enjoy this world? What is your problem? Because of greed, global greed. No, we have to stand against it.
Yeah.
And I'm praying that President John Mahama and Commandante Ibrahim Traore will work hand in hand to move the African continent forward.
I'm sure they will, because I see already a lot of progress. Even now, before I come to this live session with you, I just read that there's one, I think it's a private airline that has started a flight between Burkina Faso and Ghana. I can just refer it here. I'm going to make a report about it. But yeah, it's that is interesting. You know, that's how it starts for business, for people who wants to travel not only by road. Now there is an option to fly as well, and it's just about around less than $300. Yeah, I was like, this is a way, and a lot will happen. I think Ghana, it will not be as easy as with the Sahel states, but yeah, it's another topic for another day. But just to support what you said, we will see many progresses just in office. President Mahama, what, 5-6 months, and yeah.
Yeah.
All right, then.
So far, so good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's always an honor to have you here. And have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Good evening, my sister. And thank you so much for what you are doing for Africa. And I wish all the media stations would do exactly what you are doing, though we have few doing what you are doing. But you reach out, because this is very important.
Yeah.
You are educating the millions of Africans, and our problem actually is the mindset. And the more we try to understand issues and ideas come and what we can do, and we'll do it ourselves, then we shall get the Africa that we want. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.